Hey guys, Mr. Yates here. Today we're going to be talking about polygons. Polygons are two-dimensional, that means flat, shapes made with just straight lines. So the way that we identify different polygons, or what you probably refer to as shapes, is by the amount of sides and angles they have. So a side is a side. An angle is anywhere where two sides meet. And what you'll see as you look at the board behind me is how many sides a polygon has is going to determine exactly how many angles it has. And they will always match up no matter how you draw them. So the first one we're going to look at has 3 sides and 3 angles. Some of you are probably thinking in your head already, I know a shape with 3 sides. So let me draw that. 1, 2, 3 sides. Now, we know that this shape right here is called a triangle. And one way to remember its name as a triangle is that the first 3 letters in it, the word or the prefix tri, we will also see in words like tricycle. A tricycle is a bike with 3 wheels. 3 wheels on a tricycle, 3 sides on a triangle. Moving on. 4 sides and 4 angles. I can think of a couple different shapes with 4 sides and 4 angles. So let's draw one that maybe doesn't look so familiar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that doesn't look like anything I know. But because it has 4 sides and 4 angles, I'm going to call that a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. And later in the week, we're going to look more into quadrilaterals because, as you may be thinking in your head, I knew a couple shapes that had 4 sides, but I wasn't thinking quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is a term, and there are a couple different shapes that are quadrilaterals, like squares and rectangles. Rhombus, trapezoid. There's a whole bunch of them. So we'll talk about those later in the week. But any shape with 4 sides and 4 angles is going to be a quadrilateral. So that's what we have for a quadrilateral. And also you might know someone who has or rides on a quad. How many wheels are on a quad? 4 wheels. 4 wheels on a quad or 4-wheeler. 4 sides and 4 angles on a quadrilateral. 5 sides and 5 angles. Let's draw this one. Boom. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this one kind of looks like an upside down house, and I did that on purpose because if I drew a house, it would look like a house, but this way it kind of looks like a home plate. And if I could sneak in baseball to these videos, I'm going to do that, obviously. So any shape with 5 sides and 5 angles is going to be called a pentagon. And there's a very famous building in our country named the Pentagon, and it has 5 sides. Cool. A shape with 6 sides and 6 angles. Let's draw that. Now this should look familiar from if you've ever used tangrams. This is that big red piece. So the big red piece has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, and in between those sides are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles. And this piece right here is called a hexagon. So any shape with 6 sides and 6 angles is going to be known as a hexagon. And one easy way to remember that is the number 6 is spelled using an X, and the word hexagon also has an X in it. Moving on to our next one. 8 sides and 8 angles. These get a little tougher to draw as we add more sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to write something in the middle of this. Maybe it'll look more familiar. What if I wrote this word right here? Stop. Because all stop signs have 8 sides and 8 angles. And all stop signs, or any shape with 8 sides and 8 angles, is going to be known as an octagon. And one way to remember an octagon is think about an octopus. An octopus has 8 tentacles. And an octagon has 8 sides, or 8 angles. Now moving on, I almost jumped ahead of myself, to 10 sides and 10 angles. This one's tough to draw, so bear with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 sides, 10 angles. Kind of tough to see all the 10 sides, but I promise 10 sides, 10 angles. When we have 10 sides and 10 angles, we call this a decagon. D-E-C-A-G-O-N. decagon. And one way to remember that is if you know how many years are in a decade, there are 10 years in a decade, 10 sides on a decagon. Cool, and you may ask yourself, how come we skipped 7 and 9? So there are shapes with 7 sides and shapes with 9 sides, and a 7-sided shape we call a heptagon, and a 9-sided shape we call a nonagon. However, don't worry about that, we're not going to focus on those for right now. Just know that any shape with 3 sides is going to be a triangle, 4 sides will be a quadrilateral, 5 sides will be a pentagon, 6 sides will be a hexagon, 8 sides will be an octagon, and 10 sides will be a decagon. And they might look just like what we drew, they might look a little different. But as long as you know how many sides and angles they have, you can name that shape.